Hey, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I am excited to be with you here on our final day of the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. I hope that you have got value over these past 15 weeks as we've gone through week by week, chapter by chapter, discussing what I believe is one of the best personal growth books ever to be written. And so I'm so excited to wrap up here with you today as we go through this. And what we'll do is we'll take a couple weeks before we get started back up again as we dive into our next book that we're going to go through week by week. So I'm committed to continuing to train and give value and add value, and hopefully it's added value to you. And so I look forward to seeing you on our future shows here as well too. Again, if you do not have the book yet, you can get that at maxwellleadership.com/15 laws, and then you'll be able to pick up the book there as well. Well, hey, today we're going to finish up chapter 15, which is the law of contribution. The law of contribution. And this chapter is really significant to me. And I'll talk to you about this one because it says that growing yourself enables you to grow others. At the end of the day, this whole entire 14 weeks has really been about growing you. But at Maxwell Leadership, what we're really about is adding value to others so they can multiply value to others. So we want to focus on our success, but what we're ultimately trying to get to is significance. As I look at the beginning of this chapter here, I think about a line here that really shifted kind of my life and my thinking as I spent time with John. But as John said right here in the first part of this chapter, he says that I wanted to grow so I could be successful. Now, I believe that each and every single one of us, as we start off in our pursuit of personal growth and development, it truly is about our success. But he says right here, there were goals I wanted to accomplish and milestones I wanted to achieve, but along the way, I made a life-changing discovery. My progress in personal growth also opened up doors for others. It made it possible for me to make contributions to them. It led us not to achievement of success, but to work of significance. Now, significance is a word that was seared on my soul many years ago. It was actually 2013. And I was in the country of Guatemala with John Maxwell, and we had took 150 coaches to the country of Guatemala by the invite of the president to come in and train people throughout the country on value-based roundtables. And I remember it was the first time that John had uttered these words, and it has stuck with me inside of my soul ever since. You know, because what we experienced those days as we went out into the country, we trained on value-based roundtables, and we saw people change. We saw people commit to making a different actions in their life, and it was truly impactful. And John said something very special that day. He said, what you all are getting a chance to taste today is significance. It's significance. You're getting a chance to do something that's bigger than you, beyond you. And he says, here's what you have to understand. Once you taste significance, success will never taste the same. Once you taste significance, success will never be the same. It's really about adding value to others. And the law of contribution is all about that. And I think about in this chapter of Brent Franklin, of what he said here. He says he had two questions that he would ask himself every single day. In the morning, he would ask himself, what good shall I do today? In the evening, he would ask the question, what good did I do today? Are you intentional about adding value to people every single day? So what I want to cover in this particular chapter is how do we become and begin to make the right contribution choices? How do we make those right contribution choices? How do we cultivate an attitude of contribution and adding value to others? The first thing that we can do is that we can be grateful. We can be grateful. There's a quote that he has here by Zig Ziglar that says, you can get everything in life that you want if you help enough people get what they want. And I tell you what, Zig Ziglar was an encourager. Now, I listened to Zig Ziglar's tapes and CDs and for years. It was a couple years before Zig Ziglar had passed away. And I had an opportunity to attend a conference. It was actually in, I believe, around 2010. Now, I didn't have money to go to this actual conference, but I had a friend that was adding value to me. And he says, hey, look, I've got an extra ticket to the event. All you have to do is get airplane ticket there, and you can sleep on my couch inside the room. And I said, great, I'll do that. And he opened up the door. He added value to me to allow for me to get inside the room. And in that day, I got a chance to see some incredible speakers. And one of those speakers was Zig Ziglar. And I remember just being in awe of being in the room, with these great dynamic speakers learning all weekend long. Well, I got up in the middle of one of the sessions to go to the restroom, and I'm walking into the bathroom, and Zig Ziglar is getting ready to walk in. So I'm polite, and I asked his handler, I said, hey, I'll just wait right here. I'll let Zig go into the bathroom by himself. Now, there was multiple stalls in there. It was a regular bathroom, but I didn't want to be the guy that's, trying to shake Zig's hand in the bathroom, and you know how it is out there, right? And so the handler says, well, hey, you go on inside there. He's just fine. Well, it's me and Zig Ziglar in the bathroom. And we're both standing there, and we're going to the bathroom, and then we finally go over and wash our hands, and then Zig Ziglar turns to me, and he says, hey, young man, I don't know why you're here. He goes, but I tell you what, when I wrote this book, See You at the Top, so many years ago, I had no idea the amount of people that it was going to impact and the lives that it was going to change and the doors it was going to open for me. He says, I don't know what you're here for, but whatever you're here for, pursue it, and I'll see you at the top. And he walks out the bathroom, and that was my only interaction with Zig Ziglar on this planet, and I'm so grateful for that time. But how do we cultivate this? You see, we have to be grateful and understand that there is no success without sacrifice. Either we succeed without sacrifice, then it's because someone has already paid that price for us. So if you sacrifice and you don't see success, then someone who follows you will reap the success from your sacrifice. So we have to cultivate an attitude of gratitude if we want to really get into the space of contribution. The second thing that we have to do is we have to put people first. Oh my goodness, put people first. As John Maxwell is talking in his brand new book, High Road Leadership, that book is really about, bringing together people in a world that divides. And one of the core principles inside of that book is putting people first. When you can put other people's agendas ahead of your own, I promise you, you'll attract more people into your life. And when you begin to say, hey, it's going to be people first, not me first, I promise you, just like Zig told us, we're going to get more if we can put others first. So cultivate a people first mentality. It says this right here. People are the most appreciable asset, yet many leaders don't behave as if this were true. If inside of your organization, your company, or your family, the greatest thing that you can do is add value to people and put them first. If you want to also expand your contribution capacity, you have to follow number 3, which is don't let stuff own you. Don't let stuff own you. As you grow in your success, we attain things. We all love things, and, but that's something that can own us. And I love what Richard Foster says this. He says, owning things is an obsession in our culture. If we own it, we feel like it gives us more pleasure. The idea is an illusion. Owning things doesn't bring real satisfaction in general. If you try to feed emotional or spiritual needs with material things, all it does is make you hungrier for more things. It doesn't satisfy you. However, if you meet those needs appropriately, then you can be content with or without a lot of possessions. And so in this particular one here, when we look at the attainment of stuff, and don't get me wrong, I like stuff, just like the next person. I like stuff, but when you cannot get attached to the stuff and you see it as two purposes. You see money and things as two purposes. Number 1, for it to give you options, and number 2, for it to be able to help others. Think about it. If you can shift your mindset, that's what's going to put you into a space of significance. It's a tool, right? It's a resource, but it's not about you. It's not about you. And so we have to not let stuff own us. Number 4 is that we don't let people own you. Don't let people own you. This is an incredible story that John had shared inside the book about, a relationship that he had, and when he decided to make a different move in his life, and the person came back to him and said, well, hey, after all I had done for you, You see, the person had done so much for him, but he was keeping score and there were strings attached. You need to get to a point in your life where you can give without strings attached. You see, John made the decision that he was going to give more than he received in any relationship and that he would never keep score. Now, I've seen John do this time after time after time by not keeping score. But you see, you have to live the philosophy of owe no man nothing and let no others owe you. Owe no man nothing and let not others owe you. And so we want to graciously accept gifts, but that never as a means of control for us. How do we expand contribution? We want to define success by sowing, not reaping. We want to define success by sowing, not reaping. You know, Lewis Stevenson said this. He says, I consider the success of my day based upon the seeds that I sow, not the harvest that I reap. Now, this sowing of seeds applies to everything in your life. You may be looking at something in your life where you're saying, hey, I don't see results. I don't see results. Look, I'm guilty of that as well, too. There's things that I want to grow in my life, and I'm sowing seeds in that every single day, and I don't see the harvest. But as long as you're sowing the seed, as long as you're putting in the work, trust me, believe me, the seed is growing, and in time, there'll be a harvest. Now remember, there's three parts to anything that we do in growth. There's seed, there's time, and then there's a harvest. And so every single day, are you putting the seeds in? It says, after sowing, there is a period of time where it looks like nothing's happening. All of the growth is below the surface, but trust the process. It is growing. Number 6, if we want to grow in our capacity there, is that we want to focus on self-development, not self-fulfillment. You see, self-fulfillment thinks of how something serves me, but self-development thinks of how something helps to serve others. With self-fulfillment, feeling good is the product. With self-development, feeling good is the byproduct. Listen to that. Catch that again. I hope that you got that right there. It says, with self-fulfillment, feeling good is the product, but with self-development, feeling good is the byproduct. Every single day that ends in day, how are you getting better? Don't just go through the motions, go on work, go on the home, watch TV, go to bed, doing that cycle over and over again. Every single day, you have to dive into the process of self-development. It's not a one-time down payment to get you there. If you want to go from success to significant, it's a daily discipline. And number 7, keep growing and keep giving. Keep growing and keep giving. It doesn't stop today. You have to keep growing in order to keep giving. You run out if you stop where you are today. You see, Jim Rohn said this. He says, the greatest gift that you can give someone is your own personal development. So I want to encourage you that, hey, if you are not where you want to be in life right now, you need to get around some people. You need to get some information. You need to start implementing the things that you're learning, not just getting some shelf help by letting this sit on the shelf, but getting some self-help by actually learning a little bit and doing a little bit and making these things and these principles work inside of your life. I hope that you got value out of the 15 laws. I hope that you got value from me taking time each and every single week to extrapolate some concepts out of this book. I look forward to continuing to do more videos with you as we go through some more of John Maxwell's content. And look, if you are looking for a community and an environment of like-minded people, I would love to have you consider spending some time with us at Maxwell Leadership Certified Team. So if you'd go to leadwithjohn.com to find out more from one of our program advisors of how you can get involved and be a part of a community of like-minded people that are growing as communicators, growing as coaches, growing as leaders. This is definitely a place that you want to be. You know, we have an event coming up in August that you can participate in, which is our Day to Grow, where you can come for just a single day, or you can go through our full certification process. And we have really 3 types of people that join us. We have people that are there for simply their own personal growth and development. They just want to be in that environment of people that are growing. We have people that are looking to transition to their second half that maybe have a desire to coach, speak, and train. And then we have a group of people that are you're already out there. You're coaching, you're speaking, you're training, you're wanting to add value to people, and you're doing it already, but they come into our program in order to add some tools and resources and community and support to go to that next level. If that's of any interest to you, if you're any one of those three categories, I encourage you, go to leadwithjohn.com, speak to one of our program advisors to see how we can help you go to the next level. Well, hey, it's been an honor and privilege to be here with you. I look forward to seeing you in a few weeks. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day.